I'm getting into Jason's tools again. Let's see here. Yep, that looks about right. So today I'm just gonna change out the drill bit to a little bit of a wider drill bit. Oh, we gotta make it wider to fit it. Let's see. Yeah. So I'm going to be drilling some holes in these cute little hot pink water buckets for livestock. And what we're going to use these for are flowering containers for our post fences along the horse area. And I thought this was a really good deal. They're like $6 at Farm and Fleet. They have multiple colors. You can't even buy a container this size for that price. So I'm just gonna go ahead and drill some drainage holes in here. So that way then we can just fill it, plant it, hang it. And what I love about these two, because they have different kinds of ones at Farm and Fleet, is they have the flat back. So when you hang them on a hook, and the hook has to be an actual thick screw hook that you would actually hang like a whole bucket of water on, you know, so it can't just be like some little dainty hook or nail or whatever. It's got to be a nice hook that's sturdy to hold a lot of weight, because every time that you, once you fill it with flowers and soil, and then every time that you water it, it's going to get heavy. So that's what we're going to do. And then just add some fun little color around the horse areas. I was using Jason's tools earlier, but he's got the most important tool now.
The paint scraper. Now I kind of got this mastered a little bit. Before I was just going like this, and then it just spreads that sticky stuff everywhere.
Yep.
But now I'm at least, there's still a little residue on there, but.
I got everything all ready to plant it up, and then I was like, oh, I'll just take these stickers off. I thought they'd be like those easy peels.
Yep.
But they weren't.
No.
So then I was like, Jason, I thought I was like, you know, an independent woman over here, able to use tools and do it all myself. And I would have been like, look at hon, all you gotta do is put the hook in.
Nope, not that easy.
And now I'm like, okay, where's my man?
Not that easy. The things you think will be easy are usually not.
Yeah.
Alrighty, all done. Serving it up just like a real Italian restaurant.
Jason's just getting my soil to use, and it is wet. I feel really bad because we just had rain, but now it's so beautiful out.
There's nothing better than carrying a soaking wet bag. Nothing.
You love me. So I think maybe we'll just like set the pots out, and then we can just fill them all, right? Like this. Because then that way we just get them all filled together.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I usually do my own dirt, but that's so wet, it's slippery.
Well, it was kind of like a chunk on top here.
Aw. However you gotta do it, hon. It's like holding a wet fish. There we go. Get her done.
Really big mess.
Be generous. Yeah, you're getting real messy. I'm not gonna complain though. Beggars can't be choosers. I do not want to hold the wet bag. You can just clean it up after. Jason helps a lot with things like that because we all enjoy the garden, and that way I can continue. Oh my goodness.
Okay, ready to go.
That looks good, hon.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that's good.
All right. Let's see how these other ones shake out.
Yep. All right.
So that's fine.
Yep, I'm gonna start planting. We're gonna get started planting the little pails. We're gonna keep them really simple and we're gonna do them all the same. I know these are already pink, but I'm gonna add more pink and a little touch of blue, just so that way we add some really like fun color and a lot of warmth in the garden in areas where it really needs it. And you can never go wrong with pinks, especially, you know, when you got two little girls that love pink. So we're going to start with throwing some time-release fertilizer. So you don't need a ton when you're starting. This brand here is just Osmocote. Don't try this at home unless you got gloves, kids. You're seeing a dangerous sport being played right now. I'll do Osmocote.
Casey's already been compromised though, so it doesn't matter.
I'll do Osmocote with my bare hands, but I won't eat bread with thiamine in it. So we're gonna start with doing a scavola, because blue will break up all of the pink. And it's really nice to add just a little touch of a cooler tone color amongst all of the warmth. Just to break it up, it makes it pop just a little bit more. So this is gonna trail off of the front to break up some of the hot pink and then the pink that we do add into here. So this is a scavola, and this one here is Bombay Blue. I'll show the tag. That way you guys can just take a look at it, see some of the spelling if you need, but these ones grow nice and long off of the front. So we're just gonna go ahead and just place that right in here. Because these are smaller pails, they're not like the big full like water pails. Because they're a little bit smaller, we don't wanna add too many things because these are already large growing varieties, and we don't want it to become root bound, so we don't want to have to start watering it twice a day mid-July. You know, we expect that mid to late August, because once the roots are really established and you get like a hot warm day with a ton of wind, that'll dry it out to where you'll water it in the morning and then you'll water it in the evening. So when I do my containers as well, I always up the fertilizer with watering once we're at the end of the season. And I'll share that along the way this year a little bit more, because I know a lot of people have asked about when do you fertilize, how do you fertilize, and I'll let you know right off the bat. When it comes to our food gardens, we do organic, but when it comes to our contained gardens with just flowers, I use the stuff that is blue. So I love the Jack's brand. You can get the Bloom Booster or the all-purpose from them. I really like it because it's very comparable to professional brands used by garden centers. So I was kind of like going between the Vista Paradise or the Bubblegum Petunia. These are both really large growing trailing petunias. They're Super Tunias by Proven Winners. And I kind of like looked at both because I do use Paradise a lot in the garden. So I compared the Bubblegum and the Paradise, you know, Bubblegum, Paradise. And I actually really like that Bubblegum. I think it's just a little bit lighter than the hot pink, whereas the Paradise kind of, you know, comes on in there and just blends in a little bit. Even though I love the spiciness of the neon color, it's just not gonna do it in this one because we got enough spiciness in the pail.
Right. Yep.
So
the bubblegum's got more content.
One thing I want to go into detail on with this plant here is it's very leggy. You may find plants like this at your local garden centers currently right now because things are growing together. It's hard to maintain large plants when they are, you know, when it's getting warmer, it's getting later in the season now. And so I always do the leggy plants because I know what to do with them. And my sisters give them to me because they're like, no one's gonna know what to do with them, but I'm gonna share with you what to do with them. So what we're gonna do is, and you can take a clipper or a scissor. When you buy leggy plants, I first just like go through and just remove all of the brown on there, any of the brown leaves. That does not mean it's dying at all. These are just turning brown because they got no sun. They were growing all together in the tray, but this plant is perfect. It's gonna grow amazing. So I'm giving it its second chance and it will perform for me. So here we go. So what we're gonna do is, I know all of this color is beautiful, and I'll keep a couple just so it looks, you know, fun. So we're gonna trim these long straggly pieces so that way we can come in here and see these growths here. Once we trim the long straggly pieces, like that right there, see all this growth here? All of these down there. Those are going to grow out, those are going to fill in, and it'll fill in the whole center. Bubblegum is already a naturally full, bushy, mounding petunia. It's part of the Vista series from Proven Winner. And so I'm just going to go ahead, and I don't see a ton of greenery on here right now. So if you notice, this stem here has like nothing on it. That doesn't mean that like no extra growth will ever come on it. But this is one of those that I want to keep a little longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to the top and go ahead and pinch that top off right there. Okay, I'll show you. This is all I took off. And don't look at the flower. It's not the flower you take off. It's the actual growth at the tip. I know that looks super little, but that's the most important part to take off. It's larger on other parts of the plant. I'll show you right now. Say we were not going to trim this one as short. So where we would go right now is, here's the flower, and here's the actual growing continuation of that vine right here next to the flower. This is the actual vine. This here is the flower. So what we do is we take off that vine, but it's always okay to also take off the flower. It doesn't mean it's not going to blossom again. It will. You'll just lose that blossom. But right now what we're focusing on is a straggly plant. And we don't want all these stragglers. If we keep these stragglers, there is going to be no recovery. If you just let it grow like this, it's going to be very hard for it to recover. It will, but it will take too long to where you won't have enough time to even enjoy it in summer. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of snip off that top, the whole top, okay? We're going to come over here, and we're just going to take off this top here. You can take it off anywhere. You're not going to hurt it. We're going to go like that. I know that sounded like an ouchie. I should really be using scissors, okay? But over here then, we're going to come over here. This one's not too bad. So I'm going to go for the tip. See? The blossom and the tip of the plant. We're just going to go right in there. And we're going to take that little tip off. Look at that. It's like posing on a finger couch. All right, there we go. And then, yeah, I think that's okay. I want some to come down longer. So, all right, here we go. That was your pinching lesson. So that's what I have to do with all of these bubble gums, because they are a little stragglier because they grew together. So I'm just gonna go and just break up just a little bit. As you can tell, it's getting a little bit root bound, and without breaking it up just a little bit, it's okay if you don't, but it does help it take off a lot quicker when you just break up a little bit like this. If you don't do that, it will still focus on the actual shape of the pot that it was in, and it'll take a little bit longer for it to kind of stretch beyond, because then it's like, oh wait, I got more room to grow, you know. But once you kind of do this, it's like I have nowhere else to go but outside of that shape of the pot. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take the growth of this plant, and I'm going to like face the growth outward, because this is the back, this is the front, okay? So I'm going to take some soil out. Jason did a good job, but when we're putting stuff in, sometimes dirt can fly. All right, there we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, and that's it. So I know it looks simple and sweet right now, but this will be bushy, this will be colorful and huge by midsummer. So can you put some of those hook screws in for me? As you guys can see, I'm coming along. I got two done so far, but what I wanted to show you is now you can kind of see how this is the front. So with these pails, like I told you earlier from Farm and Fleet, they have a flat back, which is perfect for when you're hanging it up on something. It becomes a a vertical garden. So what's really nice about this over, like, you know, you see a lot of those vertical bag gardens. This has a lot more soil in it, a lot more room for root growth. So you won't be like married to your vertical garden all summer long. They even have water pails that are just twice as big, so they're a little bit bigger, but by the time everything grows and covers it, you don't even see the pail. They have multiple colors. You drill the holes and you hang it, and you're not stuck watering it all summer long. So that's what's really cool about these things. And when I was like, you know, getting stuff for the horses and stuff, I'm like, wait a minute, these would be awesome little vertical gardens. So I thought that was really nice, especially since we're kind of retiring our wall garden that we had, you know, for the past 5 years. It's kind of sad, but that space will be kind of, what do you call it?
Repurposed.
Yeah, so that space over there will be repurposed, but we'll share as we go. So I wanted to be able to, like, you know, have my hanging flowers somewhere. So yeah, it's just a fun little idea. They come in like turquoise, green, blue, black. So yeah, it's just fun stuff. And before you even start planting this, if you do go this route with the pail planting, make sure that the handle is facing the flat back, the back of it, because if it's on the front, then you're gonna have to work it over the trailing varieties you had, and then you might end up with some breakage of some of those trailing plants. And we don't want that to happen, because breakage isn't gonna exactly kill a plant, but it will stunt it a little bit for a while. And we wanna...
That's a pro tip right there.
We It will stunt it for a little while, and you know, us people in the Midwest here, we only got so much time to enjoy, so we would really like to start enjoying right away.
All right, well, now the next step is getting all the baskets hung. So what I got are some heavy-duty hooks that I'm gonna mount to the 4x4s, and we can hang these like so. Well, this should be a fairly simple project for me. So I got a drill, I've got a pliers or vice grips in case I need to turn these hooks into the wood. You can see this is called a leg style. That means it's got the pointy end, which technically you could just stick it to the piece of wood and turn it and turn it and turn it until it gets in there. I like to make things a little bit easier, and I like to drill a pilot hole first. So always make sure when you're drilling a hole for something like this that you're using a drill bit that is smaller than the bolt, meaning skinnier. You don't want to drill it too wide, and then this is going to pull out and not be as strong, but a little bit of a hole makes it go in easier. That's really about all I need the tape measures to make sure that it's at the same height on every post. Away we go. Marked out where I want it. Okay. Okay, let's see how that sits. I don't want to screw this in all the way, because if I do that, then it draws this in, and then it's always going to sit lopsided or crooked like that. So I want to leave a little bit of, you know, this is actually a pretty good look right here. All right, well, that's going to do it for Casey's pink bucket planter project. I got it all in there without stumbling. So that'll do it for this one. Take care.